Hello and welcome back to the John Langell YouTube channel. As you can see, we're in a little bit of a different setting today. I'm actually at my desk, and today we're going to be opening up a Coros watch. We're going to be reviewing and opening up this Coros watch right here. Anyway, start off right here. As you can see, beautiful, beautiful presents right there. This is the Coros Pace 3 EK edition. As you can see, it's got some interesting colors. Let's quickly rip off the watch thing. As you can see, I already have this set up and ready to go. I have connected it with my phone to the Coros app. It is practically ready to run and go. As you can see, it has some interesting patterns on the watch. It's got a big green button, a little red dial. Very interesting stuff here. Also has a very interesting pattern down the nylon watch band. I really wanted to try out something new. I haven't really used a watch with a nylon band, and I wanted to see what it was like, because I always thought it looked cooler, and this is definitely a lot cooler than a regular watch band. And that's mainly the main reason why I got it, is because it was cooler. And of course, the Coros Pace 3 is one of the most used watches by any professional runner, and I just wanted one for myself to see what all the hype was about. So let's quickly unbox this and get this onto the wrist. Now that we have the watch on wrist, let's quickly go over some stuff the watch comes with. The watch comes with these quick release replacements in case it breaks. It also comes with a charger that I'm actually a little disappointed is a little bit different than Garmin chargers. If you have a Garmin, you know that Garmin's are a little bit more circular, oval shaped, not square and rectangle shaped like this. So they're not exactly compatible, which kind of sucks. But you know, they are competitors. Also comes with some interesting stuff. Has Emma Bates, if you know, you know. She's a pretty prolific American marathoner. Also comes with some interesting stuff. But overall, I find this watch to be very foolproof, very easy to set up. You just get the app, scan the code, and then you basically just create an account and you're ready to go. So let's quickly get into the watch's features itself. So now that we have the watch on the wrist, we can see it's a very sleek, well-fitting watch. It hugs the arms very well. Being a nylon strap, I find it to be very adjustable when compared to the regular ones. I can really get this one cinched down or loosen it up, basically however fitting as I want, and it basically just molds to my arm. I really like the size of the watch. I like a smaller little watch, but with a big screen. I found that my Garmin screen looked pretty small when compared to the size of the actual watch face. This one fits out the watch face pretty well. There's also some interesting accents, as you can see, the red, the green. Overall, it's a very well-fitting and almost, I would say, sexy watch, as it looks very well on the wrist and it really flows together. I do like how the nylon strap looks on the wrist. You know, it gives it a more comfortable ride, I would say. It's also a very straight and fitting watch. It's not too clunky with the wrist as well. You know, it's very sleek, considering it's just a thin strap, not too thin, of course. It's very durable, I would say. I've ran this in the rain and in the conditions. It gets sweaty every day, but overall, it still holds its color and its shape, and it overall looks just as good as the day I got it. So one thing about this watch that I did not realize when I bought it is that it is actually touchscreen. As you can see here, I'm touching it, and it's completely usable with your hand, but it also has a dial. Dial's a little bit slower. Hand is a little bit touchy sometimes, but overall I find it's very easy to use because you can literally just use your hand. You don't have to use all four of the buttons like in a Garmin or anything like that. There's just two buttons, one for going back, and then one for scrolling. And this one also is used to start the run. You just go that, and then you can start and everything like that. Overall, I find it very easy to use, very cool. You know, a lot of people like touchscreen because it makes it feel like it's more of a smartwatch, because this is definitely something that you don't see on a lot of running watches is touchscreen. It's what a lot of the general public find very important in a watch, but overall, I don't entirely care too much about the touchscreen. I found my Garmin to be okay, even without the touchscreen. But now let's move on to more of the user interface and the workouts. Moving on, I want to talk about the Coros workout interface. The data fields I find to be preset on the watch are a little bit lackluster. I find that the time's kind of hard to read. They have a bunch of different options, and I just feel like it doesn't really have the things that I wanted in a data field, but that was actually a very quick fix. You just have to go on the app. It's very user-friendly. I just created the data field in the app, and it sent it to the watch. One thing I feel like about the Coros watch that you have to do things through the app more than through the watch. Like in Garmin, I could completely set up my watch how I wanted it through the watch, but this one kind of takes more of the app approach. You have to use the app quite a bit more, but overall, I still find it to be very user-friendly. It's very easy to do because, everyone has their phone on them. It's not that hard to just upload stuff from the app to the watch. Another thing I wanted to talk about is the price point. This is a relatively cheap watch on the market when compared to the rest of the watches. It is around $265 for this watch, and it is arguably one of the greatest watches on the market as well. Coros has really outdone themselves with this watch. It has arguably one of the most accurate GPSs when compared. I'm not exactly who did the study, but I'll show you here. Someone said that it was the most accurate GPS watch of all time. And it is also very, very easy to use, and it has just a lot of features. Like, it has basically everything that you could want as a runner in terms of data. I'm not a big data guy. I like to run based off of how I feel, but I do like to log my runs based off of pace is really the only thing that matters to me, and heart rate. I'm not too sure exactly how accurate the heart rate is on this, but you can buy a relatively inexpensive arm band that will measure your heart rate more accurately. They don't have the chest straps. I'm more of a chest strap kind of guy. I have a Garmin chest strap that I use for a long time, and I have not tried out the Coros chest strap. Maybe one day I will get it, but as of right now, I think sticking with the watch is pretty good right now. Overall, I definitely recommend this watch. And if you're in the market looking for a watch, I would not say you have to get a Garmin. I would say look at other options. This is definitely one of the best options. And I did actually refer this watch to a friend. He was telling me, should I get the Garmin 165 or should I get the Coros Pace 3? Because those are two of the competing watches. And I told him the Coros Pace 3 has way more versatility. It has way more features when compared to the Garmin 165, and they're basically the same price. Like, my brother has a Garmin 265, and this watch is basically the same. It has the same features. In fact, it's actually more features because it's touchscreen and stuff. And overall, I think this watch is a better fit for most runners than what Garmin has to offer, and that's why I decided to switch from Coros to Coros. That's why I decided to switch to Coros. My whole family has been wearing Garmin. My brother has a Garmin, I had a Garmin, and we both wore Garmins for all of our high school running career. But then I decided for my birthday, that I wanted a Coros watch just to test it out and see what it's like. And overall, I've been very happy with it so far. All right, now I want to talk about some cons of the watch. One con of this watch that is seen throughout watches in smartwatches is that if you're not wearing it all the time, the data is kind of, useless. This flooded information of data is just too much, and there's just not really a decipherability of all the data you want. Overall, I find that on Strava, I can find all the data I want that this watch gives it. But if you're one of those data freaks that thinks that data is the end-all be-all, you probably have to wear this watch 24/7 to get an accurate reading on everything. But overall, I find that it gives me exactly what I want for running. It gives me the pace, of course, a regular watch would give, the heart rate, the elevation gain, everything a GPS should give. I find that it's very accurate and to a T. And overall, I'm very happy with how the watch has performed as a running watch itself. Another thing I wanted to come up with is the price point. This watch is relatively cheap for the industry, $260. It is their entry-level watch, but it also has just about everything you'll need for running. It has so many features that I've talked about, the touch screen, the logging activities. It's supposed to be one of the most accurate GPSs on the market. And overall, when compared to a Garmin of similar price, I find that this is triumphant and is much better. Because my brother had a Garmin Forerunner 265, and I believe that this watch is better than 265, and they're basically at the same price point. Actually, this one might be cheaper, but overall, I think that this is the preferred watch when you look at every pro has a Pace 3. Not every pro is wearing a Garmin Forerunner 55 like I had. You know, they're if you're a Garmin runner and you're a pro, you're probably rocking the high level 955s, Phoenixes, you know, the crazy expensive watches. But overall, I find that Coros athletes just use the Pace 3. Because now, if you're looking to get this watch as a smartwatch, I definitely would recommend it. Now, I have not tried an Apple Watch, but this is definitely more of a smartwatch compared to the Garmin's at this price. I find that it has more features. You know, it tracks your sleep. It's very, very nice looking on the hand. You know, it's also touch screen, so you can slide up and down and go through all that. But it may not have the features of an Apple Watch, but at this price point, I find that it's a very good substitute. And it has the weather, it has your sleep score, your heart rate, your sleep data, your elevation. I find this very interesting. It tells you your elevation at a given point. It has basically everything you need to know about the day. It has whatever that is. It gives you, you can basically read full emails on this as well, which is very interesting. You know, the notifications pop up, you just slide down, you can basically read the whole thing. I find that very interesting. You know, I'm not wearing it too often. I only wear this watch when I run. I like to wear a different watch, which is actually the watch that goes on this. I wear just a regular Ironman Timex watch for everyday business. I find it looks cooler. I don't really like having this on my wrist all the time. I'm more of a humble, more type of fashion type of guy. You know, I don't like having just this on my wrist all the time. I think that sometimes you just need to go bare bones with your outfits and stuff like that. But overall, when I run, I do wear this. I only wear it when I run, basically, though. So I'm not entirely familiar with the watch for a day-to-day basis, but from what I can see, it is very well performing on my runs, and overall, I would definitely recommend it. Now, the real best running watch of all time is actually the Timex Ironman watch. This is what I wear daily, and I think that it's actually all you really need to record your runs as a beginner, but it's definitely an entry-level watch, and it was once used by the great triathletes before this world of data and despair. All jokes aside, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope this kind of helped you with deciding on what watch you wanted to buy, and thanks for watching. Goodbye.